Hi, I'm Lenny, and in this video, I'm going to discuss the director's cut of Dr. Sleep. Dr. Sleep made my top 10 films of 2019. Actually, this was my third favorite film of last year. In this video, I'm just going to discuss some of the differences there's watching the director's cut that was not in the original theatrical cut that was released. So one of the big differences between the theatrical version and the director's cut version. The theatrical version that was released was 2 hours and 32 minutes long. That's a pretty decent size for a movie. The director's cut runtime is 3 hours. So you go from 2 hours and about 32 minutes to a 3-hour cut, adding 30 more minutes or so of additional footage. Now, I do want to state right away, right off the bat, nothing in the extended director's cut affects the outcome of the story. There's not an alternative ending. Nothing added in the director's cut affects the original theatrical version. The ending is still the same. There's just more information, more detail kind of pebbled throughout the film. The director's cut has chapter names that pop up during the film. This didn't happen during the theatrical version. I'll discuss the names of the chapters, and I'll just let you know what I noticed within each chapter that was different. So let's get started here. Chapter 1 is called The Old Ghost, and at this point of the story, Danny and Wendy Torrance are living in Florida. They are in their apartment, and Danny goes to use the bathroom. He comes across a horrible, familiar sight. He sees old, naked granny, dead granny, soggy, wet breast, sagging, decaying, wet, nude old lady from room 237 from the Overlook. She is now in the bathroom and in the bathtub of the place that they're living in Florida. So at night, Danny's going to use the bathroom. He sees her coming out. He is locked up in fear. He cannot move. He straight up pees his pants, and I understand that. I would have done the same damn thing. He won't talk. And Wendy is trying to figure out what happened. She can't understand why he is so terrified. So we see Wendy go into the bathroom. She actually turns on the light. Looking into the bathroom, Wendy comes across 2 large adult-sized footprints that are on the bath mat, showing that old, naked, scary-ass lady was actually there, physically there within that bathroom. The scene with Dick talking to Danny outside in the sunlight on the bench in Florida is slightly extended, and this is where Dick goes into a little more information and a little more foreshadowing of what Danny's journey is going to be like, because he notifies Danny that Jack wasn't all bad. What the hotel did was unfortunately reached into that darkness that he had in him and worked it against him. There was light also in Jack. Jack did have light in him. And this is where Dick informs Danny that just how Jack had light and darkness in him, Danny is not all light. There's some darkness that is hiding that is also with him. And he hooks up with a lovely bar tramp that takes him back to her place. They have a crazy night of drinking and cocaine. He comes to the next morning, and homegirl has thrown up all over herself as she lays naked in bed. And Danny notices that she cleaned out his wallet, took his money. Danny rummages through this chick's purse. He is going to take whatever money he can find. This is when Danny notices that, oh no, this bar tramp also has a little baby boy. And she is obviously not taking care of this kid. And if he takes the money, how is she going to buy them food? So what Danny wants to do is lock away this memory, just like how Dick taught him. Dick pops up and he informs Danny that this he can't file away. He's gonna have to live with. This is a memory that's fresh and present. We also meet young Abra Stone, who is playing the piano and later on goes to sleep. Her parents hear the piano being played later on that night, so they come down to investigate, and they see that the piano is actually playing by itself. The keys are being pressed. No one is sitting there. Young Abra is actually in bed, and you can tell by her eye movement that she is dreaming or thinking about playing the piano. And that's how strong her shine is, showing early on that this kid is extraordinary. This kid's got a lot going on. Chapter 2 is called Empty Devils. There's not much to mention here, not much going on that wasn't within the theatrical version. Chapter 3 is called The Little Spy. What's pretty cool about this is we have more foreshadowing. We actually see the Overlook Hotel. We see that it's run down, that it's dilapidated, that it's basically a shell, a ghost of itself. But within the halls of the Overlook Hotel, we see the Gold Room, which is the bar area, the very ritzy bar area. And this looks 100% fresh. It looks untouched from decay. No one is in there, but there is a single glass filled with whiskey on the bar, as if it's waiting for Danny, knowing that he will have to come back there. That is some awesome foreshadowing. That's some Twilight Zone type shit right there. Chapter 4 is called Turn World. Again, we get a flashback to Miami. The reason for this is because Danny mentioned after the situation that took place at the Overlook Hotel, there came a point where Wendy, his mom, could no longer look him in the eyes. And the reason for that is because every time she looked at Danny, she saw Jack there in Danny's eyes. He notices this, and this affects him. Of course it would. Your own mom can't look at you in the eye. So Danny decides to make a change, and he is strong enough in the shine that he is able to turn his brown eyes blue. He actually changes the eye color to no longer be the same color eyes that his dad has. Isn't there a song that says, "Don't it make your brown eyes blue? Don't it make your brown eyes blue?" Within the theatrical version of the film, Rose the Hat is able to find out where Abra is. It seems like on a whim when you see it within the film. She's kind of hovering. It looks like she's just scanning, and that she finds a general area of where Abra is actually located in New Hampshire. But within the director's cut, we get a little more detail, a little more information on how Rose the Hat was able to pinpoint where Abra was to come find her and look for her. So Crow Daddy comes across a newspaper article that discusses tremors, slight tremors located in New England and New Hampshire itself, and no one can figure out what caused these tremors. This is around the same time that Abra was peeking in on the True Knot and what they were doing. So based off this newspaper article, Crow Daddy presents it to Rose the Hat, and this is how they are able to actually pinpoint that Abra lives in New Hampshire, and this is how they are able to find her. Chapter 5 is called Parlor Tricks. At this point of the movie, Crow Daddy has brought the rest of the True Knot to New Hampshire. They are going after Abra, and Danny is trying to help along with Billy, and they are trying to set up a trap of their own. And Abra is able to project herself that she's actually within the park area with Danny and Billy. She's at home, her own home, with her dad. And within the theatrical version, we just see that Abra gets knocked out by a needle by Crow Daddy, and later on we just see that her dad is lying dead on the floor. Within the director's cut, we actually see that Abra's dad tries to fight Crow Daddy off and protect his daughter, but unfortunately the outcome is still the same. Chapter 6 is called What Was Forgotten. So this is the awesome scene within the theatrical version and the director's cut where Danny gets to talk to his father. His father is acting as the bartender, he's acting as Lloyd, and he's having a conversation with Danny. And Danny is trying to get Jack to acknowledge who he really is. Danny is trying to get Jack to emote some kind of actual feeling, some kind of feeling of love or regret about Danny and Wendy. But he is locked into being this character, Lloyd, and Lloyd and Danny have a talk in the restroom because Lloyd spills a drink on him, very much like the scene that takes place in the original Shining film directed by Stanley Kubrick, where Lloyd spills a drink on Jack Torrance, and they go into the very colorful red and white bathroom that looks like it was a Target bathroom way before its time. And within this scene, we have some more extended dialogue between the two, cleaning this spill that he had on Danny within the bathroom. Same scene that took place in the original Shining, just reversal of the roles. And this is where Jack, aka Lloyd, is telling Danny that he should just bring Abra in. Abra is not his responsibility. Why should he have to deal with what's going on? Management is concerned. So they're asking him, just bring in the girl, bring in Abra, and let them handle it. Why should Danny have to fight this battle for her? So the hotel is desperately trying to convince Danny to not get involved. And then at the end of the film, after the credits roll, there is a thank you sent out by director Mike Flanagan to everyone that was involved with the film. And that ends our version of the director's cut of Dr. Sleep. If you feel that this video was worthy of a thumbs up, please feel free to hit that thumbs up. Greatly appreciate that. And if you enjoyed this video, all you have to do is hit the YouTube logo down in the corner, right down there. And that will notify you anytime I upload a new video to the channel. As always, I want to say thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to talk about these things that I am passionate about, that I love. Thank you for lending me your ears. I greatly appreciate that. Please be safe, be careful, and I'll talk to you soon.